Green Man! 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 Holy YouTube video, Green Man!
Hey, it's Friday. It's time for me to have a little look at some of my birthday books, a little bit of a better look. I do a video when I first received them, but every Friday now I'm going to go through like 3 of my books, or maybe less when I start running out, and just going a little bit more in depth, looking at the quality of the book inside and telling you a bit of the story. I'm not sure if you're interested in finding out some stories from my books, but I'm going to do it anyway and see who tunes in. Okay, so first up, House of Secrets. Let me introduce you to my little, these are my go-to books. These are my grails. These are what I would really like to have in my collection, because these are the birthday books of characters that I share my birthday with. Unfortunately, they're very expensive. On the left, we have Captain America with the Coming of the Falcon. The Falcon is the guy that I share my birthday with. Captain America 117, he debuted in September 1969. And his book's about 100 quid or more than that, depending on what grade you want. I'm going to try and get one for my 50th birthday next September, which will be, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And this one on the right, Vampirella, first aired in her own book, September 1969, Vampirella #1, going for about $700, $400, depending on what grade book you want. If I can see, I can get a grade 2 book as long as the covers are in place. I don't mind if it's got some wear along the spine and that, but it's just a matter of... we'll see with that one. I'd like to get it, but chances are pretty slim. I thought I'd put them up there as some kind of display to go with my books. Actually, they're just going to get blocked out anyway. Right, so let's have a look at House of Secrets. Right, this was another debut actually. It's another character that I share my birthday with. I forgot actually. It's Abel from the House of Secrets. His brother Cain debuted a few months earlier, but Abel is this guy up here. He's basically the first murder victim. He was killed by his brother Cain back in the Bible days, and and they decided that he could be the host for the House of Secrets. Right, then this is House of Secrets number 81. I'll have more information about it in the actual blog if you want to read about it, but I'm not sure what was happening before 81. I think he was just introduced with 81, and this whole book actually, from what I remember of reading it, is kind of like an introduction to the House of Secrets. A couple of things I didn't know. First, well, at least one thing I didn't know: the House of Secrets is situated in Kentucky. It's always been in Kentucky. In this first story, some guy is trying to move the house. It's a thing they do in America. I don't think they ever do that over here in the UK, but in America they like get their houses up on bloody, I don't know, scaffolding, go down in the foundation, lift it up with the foundation, bang it on the back of a massive truck, and they literally move their buildings from one place to another. This chap here decides to try and move the House of Secrets, ends up wishing he didn't, because he ends up dead. The House of Secrets starts trundling its way back, clump, 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 back towards Kentucky, its home, and it stops on the edge of the cliff, but it manages to knock him over the cliff. So there we go. That's we don't see Abel yet because he's not quite moved in. But here we go. Well, that's the story, Mr. Abel. There's the house up ahead. So I'm assuming that a guy in the car, the realtor, is telling him the story that was first mentioned in the first story. So here's Abel here arriving at the House of Mysteries. He's talking about his brother. Yes, I think I can handle it. Caretaking runs in the family, you know. My brother, who is Cain, I believe... I think the House of Mystery book must have come a few months before this, with Cain being the narrator and the curator of the house in that one. And you may know these guys as well, Cain and Abel from The Dreaming. There's Cain, there's his brother. Yeah, every now and again he kills his brother Abel, like over and over again basically, but he always comes back to life again, kind of like cursed from God to continue their roles of murderer and victim throughout time. So there's a little look into the book. Look, ghosts. There's ghosts and all kinds of things going on in the house. But Abel likes a story. And here we go with his first telling of a story since he's gained the House of Secrets caretakership. I think in the books they're supposed to like both houses, House of Mystery and House of Secrets, are meant to be on either side of a cemetery, I believe. I think that's how they're portrayed in the dream anyway. So I'll have a bit more information about the story in the blog if you want to go and check that out. But I can't actually remember it. I did read it. They're quite corny, the old ghost stories. But yeah, some kind of photographer. There's a secret room in the House of Secrets, must always remain locked, apparently. But anyway, Abel, there's Abel. He's now, there you go. A photograph comes underneath the door of the guy that was screaming in the last end of the last story. So there we are. Cool book, interesting. I can't remember who the cover was by. It is written in the blog. Could it be a Kubert cover? No, he normally signs them, doesn't he? Could be Adams. I don't remember. It's in the blog there. You'll probably recognise it more than I will, because I am terrible at recognising artists, unless it's an artist I particularly am familiar with. Normally the artists I recognise are ones from 2000 AD, like Ascara, Boland, O'Neill. Who's the other one that I from then? McMahon. Some of his art I will recognise. There was another particular one I was thinking of. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, let's move on with the next one of my birthday books for this week. Right, a little closer look at The Brave and the Bold, number 85 from September 1969. Batman and Green Arrow, the Senator's been shot. Right, now this is quite a cool story. This is actually the first showing of Green Arrow's new costume. I didn't know that when I was buying it. I can't remember if that made a factor in the price. I think it might have done. I think this one cost me, it's not great condition. It's VG, it says. It's quite yellowing though. Quite a lot of browning around on the edges there. You see it all around the edges. Quite a lot of browning going on there. Is that like acid in the packet or something, what they say? There's a bit of a turn on the page there in the corner. But yeah, this is the first showing of Green Arrow's new costume. I didn't even know he had a costume different to that, but now I think about it, yeah, he used to go around like clean shaven and that, didn't he, in the past? But that's him with his beard. Right, now in this one, both Green Arrow and Batman have to consider their futures. Batman, this senator has been shot and he wants to pass a law, and so the senator asked Bruce Wayne to take his place. So Batman's got to choose between being Bruce Wayne, a senator, trying to draw this anti-crime law into being, or staying as Bruce Wayne Batman. And then there's Green Arrow. He's got a similar, I think he's buying some land for some project or other, and I think I can't remember exactly why, but it ties up his time, and he's not sure whether he should continue as Green Arrow, what am I saying? Did I say Green Lantern earlier? I've got Green Lantern in the head. Yeah, you can't decide to stay going as Green Arrow, or to, be Oliver Queen and, deal with his plans for this land. I can't remember what the plans were, but I think it was going against some criminals as well, like buying the land that they wanted, kind of things, to stop them from doing what they wanted with it. So make sure the land goes for better causes. And I think this is the son of the senator who got shot, was friends with Wayne, and I think he's a psychiatrist as well, because they both Batman and Green Arrow end up telling him their double identities. There you go, look, Bruce, you, Batman, and yeah, so there you go. He's basically both of them disclose to him their identities because they're struggling with this problem as to whether to give up their alter egos to let their real people who they are, Bruce Wayne and Oliver Queen, like have proper dealings with the world and change the world from their own proper persona rather than this underground superhero kind of vigilante personas that they have. So they're both tie in with those ideas, and no spoilers really, but they both decide that they can work from both ways, and they can do just as good as with Bruce Wayne as he can be with Batman, and Oliver can do just as well as Green Arrow as he can with Oliver Queen. So they both decide to keep their identities whilst foiling this money grabbing, can't remember what he was now, some kind of gangster he was that they were dealing with. I've actually read quite a lot of books, a lot of my birthday books since I've got them, but I can't remember the stories 100%. Yeah, Batman manages to pass the anti-crime bill. He manages to get his vote in at the very last minute. Literally has to runs across the airstrip gets onto the grounds of the Senate or whatever it is, and then comes in right at the last minute. Senator Wayne, present and voting, sir, and I vote yes. Bravo, we've won. And in the end, this guy that they both told their secrets to, with both conflicts resolved, I can begin my agreed 2 sessions of self-hypnosis to wipe the knowledge of these 2 great heroes' identities from my mind. So there you go. He decides to wipe his own mind via hypnosis to protect the secret identities of Bruce Wayne and Oliver Queen. So there you go. That's an interesting ending to the book. Yeah. Lots of cool prizes to be for cash. New Matchbox king size models of the month. Yeah. It's cool. I like looking at the old adverts as well, Hot Wheels. You can see the yellowing around the pages there. Not a good look. Right, then the last one, a nice quirky old book. This is a bit of a daft story, I've got to say. Okay, so I can't. Oh yeah, but Superman takes Batman back into the past. That much I do remember. Right, this one is not in great condition because someone signed it. Some little kid when he's picked this book up. I don't know, maybe back in 1969. Albert Blenner, it looks like. He signed his name twice on the bottom of the book. But yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not. I'm no way of a collector of pristine books. I just like to have the books. They're a bit worn. They're loved, that's what they are. They've been loved, and I'm going to love them now. Right, so they've gone back into the past for some reason. There's British soldiers there, so it's during revolutionary American times. But for some reason, Superman is betraying. Ha ha! Forward, soldiers of Britain! I'll lead you to victory over General Washington's forces. No, Superman, stop! You can't betray your. I can't speak. You can't betray your country. You act like a man possessed by the devil. And earlier on in the story, he's got Batman tied up in the docks, and you can't quite see what's going on there. He manages to convince people to burn him at the stake. And what he says, Batman is a sorcerer, and I'll prove it. Demons, start your own fire. And then he secretly uses his X-ray vision to actually start the fire himself, convincing the people that because he's a demon, the fire has started to try and kill him. But it's a very silly story, to be honest. Some demon does actually possess them, and they both notice that the other one is possessed at a different time by the fact they've got no shadow. I think Superman notices that Batman suddenly hasn't got a shadow anymore and realises he's possessed. And it's like, okay, that's strange. And that's why I think he was burning him at the stake to try and scare the devil out of him, I think is what the story was. And then when the devil is scared out of him, he goes into Superman, this demon. And that's when Superman joins up with the Tories, or the British, against the Patriot Batman, as you can see at the top here. Batman, Patriot, Superman, Tory. If you live in England, you all know the Tories are scam. Alright, shouldn't let politics get in the way. Right. Yeah, it's quite a good condition book though, actually. Not bad conditions, other than the cover, but the interior is fine. Very readable. But yeah, Superman basically starts becoming a traitor against the American forces, and obviously Batman has to try and counteract him. Yeah, and also I think Batman comes across his ancestor as well. He looks a lot like him. I think that's the whole reason they went back in the past in the first place, is that they saw a bust of some American revolutionary fighter, and they said, "Oh, it looks like you, Bruce. Should we go back and check it out? Should we go back against all laws of messing with time and check it out?" Like, yeah, okay, let's do this. And so yeah, Batman ends up fighting with his ancestor. Then someone called Robbie turns up who looks just like Robin. But he's got some kryptonite, so that's why he puts some kryptonite in a catapult, a sling, whatever you call it, and he whacks the man's head with it, and I think that drives out the demon Ifrit or whatever it was in him, an Afrit. Look, see, this is a flashback. Back to his teammate, Back to his teammate, the Metropolis Marvel races. Superman, why did you frame me on those sorcery charges? It all started when we first met Mad Anthony guarding a British spy. Suddenly I noticed, Wayne casts no shadow. That must mean he's possessed by an Afrit, an evil spirit. It probably fled to him from the condemned prisoner's body to escape hanging. So, yeah, okay then. And then later on, the Batman has no shadow. The Efrit is in his body now. The only way to scare it out is to endanger Batman's life. And that's why he tied him to a stake. I'm not sure if you can able to read all that. But that's some, is it 69 Silver Age? I'm sure it must be Silver Age. But that's some Silver Age madness, as I like to think of it. And then the backup story, we have the Green Arrow in his own story. This is what Green Arrow looked like before the change of costume. Now I think about it, I do remember seeing him like this actually. So that is the original Green Arrow before he changed, got the beard, got the costume that we saw on the front here of Brave and the Bold. So that very month he changed from this costume on the right to this costume on the left. So that's pretty cool. It's quite nice to have that book. A little bit of history, a key as you would call it. So this is the origin story of the Green Arrow, about apparently the island that he got his powers at. Where is it? It's a weird name, Starfish Island. Was it always Starfish Island, or did they re-change that? I'm pretty sure the CW TV program hasn't got Starfish Island as the name of the island where he was shipwrecked and had to learn defending for himself and learn how to do archery and so forth. But yeah, it is here. There's a black line down the page there. Probably, I don't know what's caused that, acid in the book or something like that. I'm not too sure. It's a shame, but what can you do? This is how it came. So this is how he learned how to do his fishing. This is how he learned how to make trick arrows, because he managed to catch a fish, but it swam away with the arrow still in it. So he had to, and then when that worked out grappling ones, and then later on he worked out a net one so he could catch even more fish. I was thinking, is that page bent over? Was it clipped? There's a little bit, no, it is bent over. Let's just straighten out the page a little bit on the corner here. I'm not sure it makes a difference. They're all a bit bent in that corner actually, looking at it. Never mind. But yeah, someone was going to Starfish Island and he was worried that they was going to find out his identity, because I think he wrote some stuff in a cave, basically. He wrote something in a cave that would give people a clue of what his identity was. So what he does to get them away from the cave, I think he has a Geiger counter. I said, no, they're carrying a Geiger counter to check for radiation. This island must have been sprayed by nuclear fallout. That gives me an idea. So he used his fake uranium arrow to make them pick it up on their Geiger counter and make them go away from the cave where he'd written all his origin story basically on the wall of the cave. I'm assuming that he thought that he might have thought that he was going to be on the island all his life, so he just made himself at home there, started writing on the wall to in case anybody found his body at some point, and then he ended up surviving. So that's why he had to come back and not make sure that nobody found out his identity. So this fake uranium arrow was picked up by the Geiger counter. They decided that there had been some nuclear testing in the area recently. The island was radioactive, so they all got back on the boat and sodded off back to where they came from. So that's the story. But I've noticed in the last panel here, it's really weird. Is that their masks? Or is it the kid who had this before me drawn them on? Because those eye masks look really crazy in that last panel. They're like completely and utterly pointless. They don't even look like, they're like really bad glasses. I'm going to have to look on the previous panels. You can't really see him in a mask actually, but that's when he was on the island in the flashback, so he wouldn't be wearing a mask then. But let's see if I can see his mask early on. Oh yeah, there they are, up in the top corner there. Yeah, and they've got very, I don't want to bend the book over to show it to you, but they've got very very strange, very weird looking masks over their eyes. It's practically pointless actually. It's completely pointless. That's even worse than Superman's disguise. But anyway, that's the 3 birthday books for this week. World's Finest 187, Brave and the Bold, Batman and Green Arrow. Let's put you here, Vampirella. These. If I keep these Vampirella and Captain America in my videos whenever I'm doing my birthday books, maybe it'll be like a karmic kind of cosmic ordering, where I'm saying to the universe, these are the books that I want, and maybe the universe will hear my call and answer me by giving me the books at some point in the future. And here we go. Here's the House of Secrets. Right. Stop picking up glare, Vampirella. There you go. And you, Captain America. No glare here, thank you very much. So there we go, 3 cool birthday books. Thanks for watching my video. Back Wednesday going through some more of my books, and back next Friday going more in depth with my birthday books. So yeah, tune in, look at my blog, and cheers for watching.